After 3 trading weeks of constantly taking L's in our trading challenge, we have finally made back our losses, and we are now 80% in our trading challenge, because we were 40% down and we added a 20% win on Friday, the previous Friday. But on today's video, I want to break down to you guys how we took this trade, why we took this trade, and how you can also benefit from this, so you can also use it if you want to use it, and so you can apply it the way we did it. But always be mindful of one thing, guys. We are now 80% in our trading challenge. We were 40% on the previous week, but we had a clean trading setup that put us into a 80%, right? So before we start the video, make sure you share the video, you like the video, you subscribe to the channel, click that link to sign up with the broker that I trade with and highly recommend. And for the most part, if you're watching this video now, you are one of the few lucky traders who are gonna receive a COT Academy 50% discount on our mentorship course for coming 2 months of July and August. But we open for bookings and we open for inquiry, so more information will be left on the description and more information will be left on my number. If you take my number or if you take my Instagram link, comment down below or text me so we can talk, so you can get the information and so you can see what we are coming up with and what we are doing, so you traders can benefit who are struggling out there looking for a clean trading urge and who are looking for someone they can rely on. Because I'm a mentor, not only a trader. I want traders who are struggling and who are beginner traders to know that I'm there for them and I'll forever be there for them, but they also have to be there for themselves, which is them investing in their knowledge. But more information will be left on the description, I'll repeat, or if you wanna just text me, take my number, Instagram me, take my Instagram link, or just give me a call if you're brave enough. But without further ado, guys, let me share to you guys how we took this trade and how you can benefit from this trading setup that we have executed from, right? So you guys can clearly see that Nasdaq, our structure on Thursday, our structure was bearish from Wednesday and Thursday, right? Because when you clearly understand price at this high and price created a low and price created a high and price pushed and created a low. So what does that mean? We're having a lower low, lower high, lower low move, right? But understanding that with what we have, it's not really what we were focusing on, because on Friday when we woke up on Friday, I now had in mind that Nasdaq is bearish from Thursday, because on Thursday when we back tested, we saw that okay, price is bearish, right? But on Friday you can clearly see that price was looking forward for a tougher pullback, right, or that exhaustion phase. But in order for us to understand what we have to do there, we simply need to know what happened on our previous zones, or how price was trading on our previous zones, right? So if I have to mark out the zones that I'm talking about, what the hell? If I have to mark out the zones I'm talking about, this is the first zone, right? This was the first zone, this was the second zone, I mean, and this was the first zone. So let me remove this for now because it's not as important, right? So on our first zone, we understood that our structure is bullish. Previous action on our previous price section, right? We understood that our structure is bearish, is bullish from this push and this exhaustion phase and this continuation push, right? So once price broke below this very same zone, we now understood that there's a high possibility that we might look forward for continuations to the downside, because if price is in a higher high and we now see price trading below our previous higher high, those are signs or indications of a possible reversal, right? But we need to be mindful of one thing. Before we can confirm a possible reversal, we have to see how price will react on that very same zone. If we come and respect it, are we gonna respect and continue in that initial direction, or are we gonna respect and have a violation from that initial zone, right? So we now understood that our structure is looking bearish, right? So from this push to the downside and this push to the upside, right, once price started holding above this very same zone, if you guys are well aware, this is a Friday zone, this is our NFP zone. You guys are not even telling me and you guys don't even see it. This is our Friday NFP zone. We now understood that from price trading above our previous higher low zone, and price coming back on the very same zone and giving us momentum on our NFP. On our current price, there's a higher possibility that price will still continue bullish above that very same zone. Right? Let me repeat this. Price had a previous higher low and created a new higher high, and price had a pullback and traded below the previous higher low, but unfortunately we still had bullish momentum. So what happened? Price flipped and traded above the very same zone, and on NFP, price gave us momentum to push to the upside. Looking at our current price came back to the very same zone. So as price came back to the very same zone, I told the team that, guys, in order for us to put our money to work today, which was last Friday, we need to at least wait for price to trade above our very same zone so we can look for those continuations to the upside, right? In order for us to look for those moves to the upside, can we at least get price trading above that zone in order for us to look for those moves to the upside, right? So as price moved, you can clearly see that our London session was trading below, right? And then on 12 p.m., 1200 p.m., as we approached NFP, as we approached our NY, our pre-NY move, we now understood that in order for us to look for those continuations to the upside, we need to at least get a momentum candlestick above this zone, right? So when I now look to the 4 hour, when I now move to the 4 hour, so I can clearly show you guys, a clean indication into what I mean and what I'm talking about based on this very same zone, you now will get the picture, right? You guys will clearly get the picture that on Friday, we now understood that previously we had momentum above. So coming back, we now understood that from this bear candlestick and this pin bar candlestick, in order for us to look for those anticipations to the upside, we need to at least get a 4 hour candlestick that will close bullish and confirm a move to the upside, right? So what happened from there on the 4 hour, you can clearly see that price gave us a bullish candlestick, right? So coming back, so as we still came back to the very same zone, we now understand the pin bar from the 4 hour that we had and the bullish close above the basic pin bar. There was a high possibility that we might anticipate a continuation to upside, but we simply need to wait for price to close above our certain zone. So what happened from there? We had a 4 hour candlestick that closed above. So with a 4 hour candlestick closing above, we now understood there's a high possibility of a continuation to the upside. So what will happen from there? Price simply pushed to the upside and price CTP. Do you guys get that? So understand that this is not hard to use, or this is not hard to apply, but you simply need to understand what happened previously so you can understand what might happen currently. Because if you understand what happened previously, you might get a simple picture into what might happen currently. In this instance, we had a previous higher low that created a higher high. Coming back to the very same zone, price traded above on our NFP. So when NFP hit, we had bullish momentum. So coming back on our current price, which was the last Friday, price traded above this very same zone and gave us a candlestick that closed above. So we anticipated what was continuations to the upside. Do you guys get that? So this wasn't hard, this wasn't simple, this was just based on consistency and obviously applying what you know day in, day out, even though you take L's or you take those W's. Do you guys get that? But without further ado, thanks for sharing the video, for liking the video, for choosing COT Academy as the best Forex Institute, and for most of all choosing the YouTube channel as the legit and far most importantly the educational YouTube channel in the world. But without further ado, I repeat, this is your boy Hello King COT, and I'm gonna catch you guys on the next video.